I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to episode 61 of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. My name is Flo.
And I'm Gabe. How are you?
I'm doing okay, man. How you doing?
Good as always.
Good as always.
Yeah. Tired?
Nice.
Don't want to mix it up too much.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm good. I don't know. It's a nice day outside, and I feel kind of refreshed for once. Not as tired as usually, but then again, I'm having my tea, so
Nice.
yeah. How about you? How are you doing?
Okay, you know, it's. I agree. The weather is doing crazy things because I think 2 days ago it was snowing, and now it's back up to 17 degrees.
Yeah, something like that.
You know, weather.
Yeah. As everybody keeps saying, it's April weather, and everybody keeps saying that, but is that usual? Is that normal for April?
I feel like we've been saying it for the last couple of years now, how weird the weather is in every month. So
yeah.
By now it's usual, yeah. You know what I mean?
Maybe we should stop talking about the weather.
I agree. What's the best weather you've seen all week?
Well, the snowing was quite nice.
Yeah. Yep. I did enjoy that too. I am a fan of rain. So
Yeah.
It was nice. You know, I take rain or snow. It's
rain is
things
beautiful.
falling from the sky. You know, I like it.
As you know, cinephiles, we gotta love the rain because some of the best movies got some great rain scenes.
Yeah. Are we calling ourselves cinephiles now? I mean, I want to stay away from that
doing
word.
That, you know.
No,
You do.
I never do that. What are you talking about?
Well, like,
I always make a
I don't
point
want to
that
use
I
that word,
don't
but
want to.
as a cinephile.
No, I've never called myself a cinephile. I always say I don't want to use that word when I'm describing other people.
Okay.
I hate that word.
As
You can call
cinema
yourself a
lovers,
cinephile. Yeah.
as people of the movies, as
As people of the movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. Sure. How was your week in terms of watching things?
quite bad, to be honest.
Great.
Yeah, I know. I had trouble finding anything, and I kept starting things and never finished them because I just couldn't.
That's not
There-
very
I knew-
you.
I know. I knew they wouldn't make my list, and I'm gonna get to them because there's one or two things I'd like to talk about. But in the last minute, I did find something very enjoyable
Okay.
that I would love to talk about, and I feel like that's something you could pick as well.
Okay.
But I have no idea in what range you're gonna be in.
In what range? What do you mean?
Well, it's hard to tell if you're going to pick something, I don't know, Netflix related or something very obscure that you found on
Sure.
Prime that you could rent that's been
Sure.
out for, I don't know, 5 months and I never even noticed.
I think that's a pretty good, accurate description of what my pick is going to be.
Perfect, because mine as well.
Okay, we'll see. I have a feeling it could be the same thing, but then again, it would be very. What was the last time we had that? Onward, or
Could be. I know the first time was The Vast of Night, which
Yes.
was a wonderful moment. Go check that out.
But I was more surprised by Onward. I think Onward was before that, wasn't it? I don't remember.
No, I think Vast of Night. I think
just-
Onward was the week after that because we got so excited that we got 2 in a row.
I don't think that happened. But okay, I trust you.
Maybe it's just my brain making memories more beautiful.
I just know that The Vast of Night was like I expected you to pick it, and with Onward, I had no clue. That was a nicer moment for me because it was even more surprising.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I remember it, at least. You know.
Sure. I
might
thought
be
just Vast of Night seemed so obscure that I was just surprised by myself that I watched it.
Proud of yourself.
Yeah.
All
right.
Anything to talk about the Julia Roberts special? Which I have to say, I am asking you if you have anything to talk about, and then I straight away cut you off and say I have to say something.
Sure.
No, it's just you see all these other countries that sort of view your or listen to your podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fascinating. I haven't quite cracked the logistics behind what episodes are like more popular, and especially in other countries. We've had like listeners in the Philippines this week, and in the Czech Republic or whatever. It's I'm excited. In Argentina too. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say that it might be me because I'm sometimes logged into a VPN.
Oh,
but I've never
on.
been logged into either Argentina, Philippines, or Czech Republic. Probably.
What are you doing?
Not lately.
You're logged into the VPN and you're listening to our own podcast.
No, I just usually do
views?
it to protect my internet security.
But you do
I
that
would
on
love
YouTube,
if
right?
that was my sponsor on everything. I do it on my computer and then anything that I touch.
No, but have you ever
Makes
listened
it seem
to an
like-
episode on the computer that it wasn't on YouTube?
Fair enough.
Right. It's on the phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I guess I've never used Spotify on the computer. That's right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, interesting. Yeah.
So what did
I
you
mean,
think of
good
the
for-
special?
It's pretty cool. I liked it. I
Yeah.
liked it. I liked editing it, even though it was a bit of a pain in the ass because I started quite late. Because we recorded quite late on Friday and I had to go to work, so I didn't get to until Saturday, which left me 2 days of doing a bit less than an hour each day, which was a lot.
What do you mean? It took you only 2 hours?
No. I edited less than an hour of footage each day, which takes quite a bit of time because the episode is like 150, so I edit like 55 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Which is more than a regular episode. And I usually take like 2 days for a regular episode, so I was a little proud of myself, but also a little exhausted because, my back hurts from slouching in front of the PC. But no, I liked it. How about you? I mean, are you still satisfied?
I'm still satisfied, yeah.
Perfect.
I'm more like, if you remember the episode before that with the empty man and the kid detective, I feel like I should have picked the kid detective now. But that's not to bash the empty man, It's just like tomorrow I'll think differently again. But with the Robert special, I'm happy with my picks, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good episode.
What about this week? Did you have trouble finding anything like me, or
No.
were you looking for something specific?
I knew what I was going to watch this week. And I
Okay.
have one thing. I have nothing else to talk about, but I have one big good thing.
Interesting. Okay.
And I think it's your turn to start. So please rattle off your honorables and then we'll get to the picks.
Yeah. And first of all, if you're new to this episode, to this whole show, because you just joined us from, Argentina.
Yeah, perfect.
You found us through Julia Roberts. Welcome. It's very nice to have you here. This is the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. And here we talk about the best thing that we've seen all week. Anything from a movie to a TV show to a YouTube video, maybe even. And yeah, we're going to start off with a couple of honorable mentions. And then we're going to work up to the best thing that we've seen all week. And yeah, what I've seen, well, you could call it an honorable mention, but it's just something that I've seen.
Okay.
Which is, I think, maybe a bigger release.
Okay.
Is the Concrete Cowboy on Netflix.
Sure.
Did you have this on your radar at all? Or
Explain Radar. I was
did you
not
know
gonna
this was
watch
coming
this.
out? Or okay,
Yes, but I wasn't interested in it.
okay, because I
Is it good?
had no idea about this movie, and I was like, all right, Idris Elba, why not?
Idris
That
Elba?
kid, Idris Elba, and that kid from Stranger Things, and even Method Man plays in this.
Yeah,
who's a rapper, most known for his career in
rapping,
the Wu-Tang Clan. Sure. Yeah, and it's a coming of age story about a boy who is, I don't know, keeps getting in trouble, so his mother drops him off at his father's house, who is kind of estranged too, and he's a bit of a cowboy inside Philadelphia, in Philly, and it's such a typical coming of age story, and like 5 minutes in, it was like, all right, this and this is going to happen. And if this is going to happen, I'm going to turn this off. And it did happen 20 minutes later, so I turned it off. I think this is a movie you can enjoy when you're like 10 years younger than I am now. So like in your early teens.
Really? Okay.
But it wasn't anything from, it kind of reminded me of Aragon, you know?
I thought you were talking about the Lord of the Rings character, but I know what you're talking about.
No, the movie with the dragon.
Yeah, I got you.
Which is also terrible, but apparently the book is great.
When is this movie set? Sorry?
In today's times.
Oh, and there's interesting.
Yeah,
there's a cowboy community during today.
Yeah, it's like on the outskirts of Philadelphia.
Right.
There's like this patch of grass and a little rundown homes, and there Caleb McLaughlin's character, who is best known for as one of the kids on Stranger Things, And yeah, his dad is, I guess, a rancher, but all he does is, I don't know, feed the horses and ride them around the little patch of grass. It's not like a real cowboy kind of thing, and it seems just so very artificial. I'm interested if there's actually that kind of, I don't know, rancher community in Philadelphia, because it seems kind of weird to see that inside such a big city.
Right.
But yeah.
So you didn't enjoy it? You didn't even finish it, sorry.
Yeah, it got like 30 minutes in.
Can you explain to me what happened 20 minutes in? I mean, that can't be that big a spoiler.
Well, he gets there and then he, for some fucking reason, his dad's got a horse in his house.
Sure.
Okay. And then, yeah, he kind of kicks him out because he does some shit, and then he sleeps in the stables because he has nowhere else to go. And then he has this horse and he's like, oh, okay, don't fucking kick me or anything. And then he kind of falls asleep. And then the next morning, a lady comes and is like, oh my God, that horse is normally so aggressive. Normally he would have killed you, but apparently he didn't do anything to you. It must be a special bond you have. And then later it's like, he's your responsibility. You have to, I don't know, do this and that with that horse. Otherwise he gets sent off or something. It's the bond between this kid and a horse, learning responsibility. And yeah, it's so fucking cheesy and predictable. I didn't even finish it because I think I can see where this is going. But yeah.
Okay.
And Method Man is playing the sheriff inside Philadelphia, who's, I don't know, it's weird. It's fucking weird. But yeah.
I wasn't that interested in the movie, and I mean, apparently I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, but the other thing that I watched, another Netflix thing, a TV show, I was told about by a friend of ours, Ralph, who raved about the show, not necessarily because of the content, not because of like the story or anything, but because of its historical accuracy in some parts.
Okay.
Because it's Barbarians, which is set in, I don't know, ancient Roman times. And the cool thing about that show is the Romans actually speak Latin, which is a very cool thing. You know, the Germanic people, or like, you know, the Barbarians speak German.
Right.
Which is kind of a nice touch. And you got in the leading role, you even got a Viennese actor.
Okay.
Laurens Rupp. Never heard of this guy, but he's in there. And he's very much the highlight of this show for me, but...
Yeah, I've seen his face.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation as the opera policeman. I mean, of course, how could I forget, yeah.
That Oscar-winning performance.
Yeah, but this is not an Austrian production, is it?
It's German, I think.
Because I'm looking at the director's name, Barbara Eder, and I know someone who's called like exactly that, but she's not a director as far as I know. Yeah,
it's her side job, you know.
Yeah, that would be great.
Sorry,
is this your pick?
No, it's just an honorable mention because I think it's quite interesting, because I talked about historical accuracy in shows and movies. It's interesting for that. It's not a great show in itself, but maybe that's just my taste. You can check it out on Netflix.
Right.
But yeah, my pick ended up being something on Amazon Prime to rent, because I thought of you last week and 2 weeks ago, and how you got to your picks, and I was so desperate to find anything to fucking watch.
Okay.
Because I planned on watching like maybe Thunder Force.
Sure.
But it looks so fucking terrible and
we'll get to that in a second.
Awful.
Oh, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, Jesus. But no, I ended up watching a movie came out a couple of months ago, which you can rent on Amazon Prime, which is Kajillionaire.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Is this your pick?
It's on my list of things to watch for the podcast. And it played at the Biennale. And I think your reaction tells me that you didn't think of watching it back then. I thought you mentioned...
Maybe I just forgot.
Yeah.
Maybe. Could be.
And I thought about watching it at the film festival, and I thought about watching it since, and I watched the trailer multiple times, and I've heard pretty much great things. I'll let you talk about it, of course. Sorry, but it's just, no. I don't know. The trailer really didn't appeal to me at all, but please.
Yeah, I watched the trailer for this podcast, so I knew if we could use it, and I'm not even sure because I watched this today, actually.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if we can play the trailer, but we'll get to that later.
It's an Amazon thing, isn't it?
No, it's not an Amazon original. You can rent it there, but it's by Annapurna and Focus Features, I think.
I'll have a look while you talk.
Okay. But yeah, the trailer is fucking awful. It tells you pretty much the whole story.
Okay.
Or like the most important parts, I think. But yeah, I think this would be right up your alley because it's about a family of like con people, thieves or whatever, who live in LA, and it's about this young woman living with her parents, and she's very socially awkward because she doesn't have any other life than living with her parents in this rundown office, doing cons and heists all the time, or heists maybe a bit generous.
Right.
And yeah, it's her being so unadjusted to normal life because her parents think, everybody who leads a normal life is a sucker. We know how we live, and normal people want to be Kajillionaires, but we're happy with just what we have, like skimming off the top. And then finally, or eventually, meeting another person who they want to involve in this whole thing, and this kind of leads to some conflict between the characters. And I think it's just, well, first of all, it's kind of funny how the characters act, because it's got, among others, Richard Jenkins, who is quite a well-known actor. Yeah. I think most people don't know his name, but if you look up his face, I think you'll recognize him instantly. He's done quite a lot of stuff, even recently. And you got in the leading role Evan Rachel Wood, which is an actress that I know from her face, but I wasn't all that familiar with her. I think she's one of the leading roles in Westworld.
Yeah, she is.
But I've never seen it. And you got Gina Rodriguez, who is the girl who kind of joins them later on. And she's most known for, of course, Jane the Virgin, the show.
Right.
And yeah, it's Evan Rachel Wood's character's got this very deep and unnatural kind of voice.
I remember this, yes.
Yeah, it sounds very, very weird, but it fits her character quite well, and how awkward she is, because you see how unadjusted she is to like human touch or anything like that. And I think it's very funny, first of all, at times, but I think you would like it because of that whole heist element. It's got different layers to it.
But how big is the heist, like the part of the movie? You know
they
what I'm
say
trying to
heist,
say.
but there's not really any freaking heist in the whole film. Even the IMDb synopsis, like, a woman's life is turned upside down when her criminal parents invite an outsider to join them on a major heist they're planning.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's like sarcastically, because the whole movie doesn't take itself that serious. Because there's never like a major heist, like they rob a bank, they like do very small time scams. It's more like on the level of Matchstick Man than it is of like Ocean's 11, which they reference frequently.
What, Matchstick Man 2?
No, just Ocean's 11.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, but that's exactly what I was thinking when I watched the trailer. It's like it's supposed to be a heist, but like I don't really see anything heist. Any heist in the trailer.
Yeah, there really isn't, unless I have a false definition of heist, which is, it's like a big robbery, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I think.
Well, some planning and then some execution and, some tense moments, some lasers. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, they do some planning and some executions, I guess, but here it's like scamming old people or like the airport or anything like that.
Right.
But it's not really about that much. I mean, it does have some fun elements to that, but it's more about the main character and how she is unable to cope with other people and slowly realizing how fucked up her parents are.
Yeah. Is there a reason why she has that deep voice? Or is that...
I think it's just to make her sound a bit off,
Okay. It's not explained.
I think not at all.
No, right.
A lot of things aren't that explained. And I think it's quite an unconventional movie. I think if you're out for like a typical heist movie, this is not that kind of film. And it was quite refreshing to see something else once again, because it doesn't feel like a usual Hollywood movie. It reminded more of the style. It reminded me more of, those indie films like I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. Not like that the films are similar in like story or anything, but in a bit like in structure, It doesn't have this overarching big plot line, but it's just, the characters living with themselves and
Right. Slice of their lives?
A bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Those movies are hit and miss for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's the best way to describe them. Like some of them work for me and some of them really don't. But this one, as I said, I wanted to watch this, and I had written down as sort of one thing to watch in a slow week. but I forgot about it, to be quite honest with you. And this week I wasn't that desperate for something, but yeah, I mean, trailer-wise, I don't know, dude. And I have the same issue with my pick as well. I've contacted people for my trailer. Obviously, I didn't know what you're going to pick, and I still haven't got full clearance yet. They responded and it sounded very helpful, but I don't know, man. For you, like for Kajillionaire, I can't find anything. I mean, we could try and find someone to talk to, but then again, it's the weekend now.
Yeah. It was quite a late pick, which is too bad. Otherwise, I don't know how much I could have Googled, because you're the expert in that department, I guess, but I think we could have gotten around it.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunately not on that hub site I told you about anymore. And that could be because it's quite an old thing now. They usually release the trailers like once they are actually like released on YouTube. And this trailer was like 8 months ago. Obviously, it took time to come over to Austria, but I don't know. Let's leave some space in, and if we're lucky, we'll be able to insert the trailer here, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and that was maybe the trailer for Kajillionaire. It's not a great trailer. It's better, I guess, to listen to than to watch, because even though they don't give away a whole lot with what they say, like the images in the background do like tell most of the story.
Okay.
So I wouldn't recommend going out and looking for the trailer. I think it's better to just read a review or two and then decide if you want to watch it.
Right. And it's on Amazon, you said?
It's on Amazon Prime to rent, at least in Austria.
Yeah. I mean, I'm now thinking of like maybe we shouldn't even include the trailer if you feel like it's the best thing, like if it gives away too much. But we'll see.
I think what they say isn't that
right.
That harmful. You know, it's mostly it's mostly a little. It's mostly a monologue by Richard Jenkinson's character, playing over some of the more important scenes.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Yeah, it looked funny. From like it looked like the
art direction.
No, it's more like it looked more like a physical comedy. Like I remember the shot of them like all limbo dancing, like trying to hide.
Yeah, past the super who they owe rent money. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that looked funny, but the dialogue didn't really appeal to me. But maybe I'll give it a go.
Yeah, I think they chose some weird scenes for the trailer. I think they could have put way more in there.
Okay.
Or way less in a way as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my pick of the week, which surprised me as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, what about your pick? Because you said you were looking forward to this, or you had this planned.
Well, I thought we might have the same thing. And even though it was far-fetched because mine is not necessarily brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why you haven't watched this yet. This is, and I'm excited because one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast is really to talk about things that a lot more people should see, and things that not a lot of people know of. And there are these hidden gems that we've talked about over the last year that maybe no one had heard of, and stars like unknown actors or whatever. But every once in a while, there's like a show or a movie that stars great people, has great directors, and has a great story that it just goes under the radar. And that was the case with my pick of the week.
Okay.
Because my pick of the week is I Know This Much Is True.
I can't say I don't have a picture in my head of what you're talking about.
It's a
this
show.
Much I Know Is True?
I Know This Much Is True.
Okay.
And it's written and directed by Derek Cianfrance.
Ooh.
Starring Mark Ruffalo in 2 roles as twin brothers, with one of the twin brothers being a paranoid schizophrenic. You must have heard of this.
Maybe at some point, but I don't remember. Christ. I mean I have looked,
Christ.
I think, through Derek Cianfrance's like upcoming films at some point, but either I forgot about it or I missed it. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, this came out on HBO months and months ago in the States, and it's now available on Amazon as well over here finally. And we talked about Derek Cianfrance before because he's the writer and director of films like Place Beyond the Pines, which we love, or Blue Valentine, or what was it, The Light Between the Oceans?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called.
With Michael Fassbender and Alicia Vikander.
Right.
Right.
A brilliant filmmaker. And he's now doing, I think, his first limited series. It's only 6 episodes, 6-hour-long episodes, and it is amazing. It is really amazing. As I said, it stars Mark Ruffalo in 2 roles, and in one role he plays Dominic, and in the other one he's Thomas, and Thomas is the paranoid schizophrenic. And Ruffalo actually, like, he lost 20 pounds and then gained 40 pounds for each role respectively.
Christ, okay.
And it's interesting because, well, it's about from episode 1. It's one of the tougher watches I've ever seen because it deals with so many difficult subjects. But even the opening scene, just kind of don't want to give it away. It's okay. The opening scene. It wouldn't really be that big of a spoiler, but it's got a lot of narration from Dominic, and he sort of tells the story of his life and his upbringing, and obviously Thomas in that as well, and the struggles that Thomas had and the struggles that the two had between each other. And the first scene is just like Thomas doing something very, very irrational and just crazy, really. And that sort of leads him to be sent to a mental institution. So, listen, and it's got like the first episode. I mean, it's got so many different little storylines that it's so hard to like talk about them all now. But I can just say that every single one of them is really heartbreaking and incredibly tough to watch. It stars Melissa Leo as their mother. Melissa Leo, she's great. She's in Prisoners, Prisoners, and she was in Equalizer and in many, many great things. But the cast itself is just insane. You got Ruffalo twice. You got Melissa Leo. You got Catherine Hahn. Now, Catherine Hahn, recently Agatha from WandaVision. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, dude, she is so good. And I'm so happy that she's getting the recognition she's getting now. I think, obviously, this came out before WandaVision in the States. Mm-hmm. But I feel like WandaVision really put her on the map, like, finally. She's been working for years and years, but she was always like the character actor and more working in comedies.
Right.
But she's getting more and more dramatic work now. And she is honestly fan-fucking-tastic. And I talked about the movie Private Life on the podcast before. It's a Netflix original too, with Paul Giamatti, which is fantastic. She's great in that. And I thought she was good in WandaVision. And man, oh man, she's just outstanding in I know this much is true, as Dominic's ex-wife. Then you have Rosie O'Donnell. I don't know if you know Rosie O'Donnell.
More by name than by what I've seen from her.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of her. I just know of her. I know that she had a beef with Trump, which I, even before he was president, I watched a lot of interviews with him on Letterman, and he kept bashing Rosie O'Donnell. I thought it was funny, but I didn't really know anything about her. I know that she stars in A League of Their Own, the baseball movie with, I think, Tom Hanks.
All right, yeah.
But she's also fantastic in this show. You got I still don't know how to pronounce her name. Imogen Poots from.
Don't know.
Oh, come on! She was in Vivarium and in.
Right.
Yeah,
but I have no idea how you pronounce her name.
Yeah, it's just insane. The cast. I could go on and on.
But interesting. I just saw that it was, not nominated, but even won. Mark Ruffalo won the Golden Globe for his role. So. I guess not a chance that I could have noticed the show, but interesting, yeah.
Yeah. It's his best performance I have seen. And I wanted to tell you that we have to do a special on this guy, but because I talked about him recently on The Normal Heart.
Yeah, right.
And we talked about Dark Waters on the pod. Dude, this dude, I've seen so many things of him by now, and I feel like he doesn't quite get the credit he deserves. Even though he is working constantly, and I think people think of him as a good actor, but damn, dude, he's amazing filmography by now, and just an amazing actor. And he was outstanding in this show. It's the best I've seen him in.
Yeah, he just doesn't have like that mainstream appeal for some reason, but he is an amazing actor. I mean, we've talked about his performance as well. I think when we talked about Spotlight on the Rachel McAdams special.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, he's in the MCU. That's sort of mainstream as it gets. But
I guess, but he's one of the least mainstream characters in the movie. He's also in the movies, and also one of the only ones in the main cast that doesn't have his own movie.
Yeah, true. Well, Ed Norton got that.
Yeah.
He stole it. No. Yeah. I mean, the trailer thing, I talked about this before. It's a struggle. I hope I can include it, but if not, I'll definitely link it in the description. But it's called, yeah, I know this much is true. I will maybe run a little clip of it now. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I probably, I don't know if we heard anything now, but you would love this without any question. Like, I know that you would love this.
Yeah, like you said, I do love Derek Cianfrance. And you said it's on Prime. How much is it? You know that?
It's $3 per episode, but it's only 6 episodes.
That's a lot. But yeah, I mean, it does sound interesting. And yeah, I think it's always weird to do these like twin movies. It's quite off-putting most of the time when I see it.
It is, but it is so well done.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know how they did it this time? Because there's so many different like methods they can use, like with, of course, a Social Network, which you know all about with the Winklevoss twins. Is that their name?
If you haven't looked this up, and it's absolutely right, yeah?
It is. Oh,
yeah, well done.
I'm so proud of myself. Yeah. With that, it's like they had like 2 actors, and then they just superimposed the face on one guy. But I guess they couldn't have done that now with him like having to gain and lose weight.
No, they did. Well, at least what do you mean?
So they superimposed his face on another person.
You're talking about what now? Social Network?
No, on
this show.
I know this much is true.
Yeah. I haven't, I can only guess, but I know that obviously for the, obviously when you have these things, you shoot it as to, in most scenes, you don't see both of them on screen.
Yeah.
That's how they usually do it. So in those scenes, you see like the back of one's character.
Right.
And that's obviously always also one actor.
Yeah, a stand-in, yeah.
Right. No, it's that, yeah. I haven't researched this. I don't know how much, because he is like credited and he stars in every episode. I'm looking up his name really quickly. He's called Gabe Fazio. And
so close. Okay.
Yeah. He is sort of the other brother. But there are many, 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 many scenes where both of them are in the same scene and frame together.
Yeah, I just saw the first image that pops up on IMDb. It's them talking to each other in front of a car.
Yeah.
Which looks quite good.
It looks insane. I don't know how they do it. It must be either like 2 scenes cut together, but I think it's them superimposing his face on one other actor. I think that's how they do it. But then again, what do I know? But it looks insane. And it's so interesting that you asked that you mentioned like twins. It's always difficult or whatever. This movie has a lot of flashbacks. Movie. This series has a lot of flashbacks, and you see obviously Ruffalo playing the twins in their 30s and 40s, right. But you do get flashbacks to them being kids, and those are actually played by twins.
Okay.
And then there's flashbacks to them being like 17, 18, 19, and that's also just one actor who is fantastic, called Philip Ettinger.
Okay.
Honestly, the acting in this is unfucking real. I think I've said fuck more than I've said in the entirety of the podcast before. It's just so
I enjoy
good.
A good fuck.
Yeah, I know you do. There's also an actress who plays young Catherine Hahn. She was in Game of Thrones. I'm not even going to try and pronounce her name because I'm...
As what character?
In Game of Thrones?
Do you remember? Yeah.
I looked it up. I didn't remember her. So, but then again,
okay.
I forget a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long show. A lot of characters.
No, I did look her up, but then... hold on a second. Because you'll know her. It's something Stark. Lyanna Stark? Yeah.
Yeah, I think she plays the dead sister of Ed Stark, who you see in a flashback at one point.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah. Right.
She's called Aisling, maybe? Franciosi?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But she plays young Catherine Hahn. She's called Dessa, which I think is just a great name. I don't know why. And even though those little flashback scenes, she reminds me of Shailene Woodley, the young actress. And
who was she again?
Shailene Woodley is the one from Spectacular Now and Fault in Our Stars. And
Right.
Have you seen The Spectacular Now?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those movies that we not bonded over, but when we first talked about movies, I told you that I'd seen it, and you were so fucking surprised.
Is that what it was?
I
thought I recommended that one to you, and we talked about it then. But I have no fucking idea anymore. There's another fuck. I gotta comment down. But those little flashback scenes, that's like them meeting each other in their obviously in college. It's better than 90% of romances these days. It's just real, man. Derek Cianfrance knows what he's doing. It just feels palpable and real. Everything. It's insane.
I think nobody can fucking direct romance like Derek Cianfrance. I mean, fucking Blue Valentine is
2 fuckings after. You can try to top me. Extra.
Well, that fucking movie was fucking great. I couldn't fucking believe it.
Yeah. Can
I put another one in there?
Sure.
Fuck. But also talking about HBO things, I mean, it fucking sucks that, first of all, there's so many fucking, Jesus Christ, now I can't stop.
I know.
It's not even on purpose anymore. But yeah, HBO, I mean, there's so many streaming services, but HBO is a particularly shitty one for us since we don't have access to it in Austria. Or not, like, it takes even longer to reach us, like even that show, but yeah, not yet, I guess. But then it's another fucking streaming service that you have to
I think HBO Max is supposed to come out in Europe soon.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because there's one thing coming out next month, which I would love to fucking see, and I don't know when it will reach us, which is the new Taylor Sheridan movie, which is also an HBO thing, and also, theaters, but haha,
theaters, yeah.
What is that anymore?
Yeah, we're still waiting for things that came out in the summer of 2020 to come over. Yeah, it sucks. It just sucks. But what's the new Taylor Sheridan movie? I haven't heard of this.
Those Who Wish Me Dead. He's directing, and he's also is one of the screenwriters. But it's got Angelina Jolie in one of the leading roles, who I said you don't see in a lot of things lately. But there she is. But also it's got John Bernthal, who I'm a huge fan of. I love this guy. I even said I was looking forward to Ford vs. Ferrari because of him, and he's got like a 5-minute scene.
Sure.
Greatest fucking scene of the whole movie.
That's not even remotely true.
No, but he's a great actor, and it's got Nicholas Hoult, who's also a cool guy. I mean, he's done a lot of stuff, but I've seen him in few movies where he's got like the leading role, except for like Tolkien.
Sure. Oh god, I forgot about that movie.
Good. He's a great guy, great actor at least.
Well, we can hope that it's going to be available sometime soon here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe, I guess. I mean, it's supposed to come out in May, and I don't know. Yeah, maybe it will reach us because it says it's gonna come out in Slovakia on May 13th. I don't know if that's theaters or if they're gonna get HBO Max by then. So because if it reaches like Slovakia, Czechia, blah blah, it's got a good shot of reaching us as well. We're in the same vicinity.
Yeah, let's hope. Yeah. I agree. I love anything Taylor Sheridan does. But just to wrap up, I know this much is true because I haven't really talked about the story, and if we didn't include a trailer, it's gonna be even you don't know what the show is about, and it's really about just to really narrow it down, it's about sort of nurture versus nature, because it is 2 brothers sort of growing up in the same household, leading completely different lives, and it's the struggle, as I said before. Sort of, he feels like he's cursed, Dominic, because he's just, dude, so much shit happens to him in this 6-episode series. It's based on a book by Wally Lamb, and Derek Cianfrance sort of adapted it with another writer at some points as well. But he directed it, and it's one thing I have to mention because I loved it. There's this little mystery as to I'm not gonna say it. There's this little mystery in the show, and I was like proud of myself because I thought I had it figured out. Sort of like a couple of episodes in, I was like, okay, I know this is gonna be the big reveal at the end. And then I watched the last episode, and it just sort of like talked about not like a huge reveal, but it's just like, I thought of this too. Sort of like, you know what I mean? Because the character thought of it too, and this show treats the audience with so much respect, and it thinks or hopes that we are intelligent viewers and listeners and sort of get it. They don't have to explain everything to us. And I love that. I was like, I'm looking forward to this reveal now. I kind of saw it coming, and it's just, yeah, let's get it over with. But then the way they handled it was just perfect. And yeah, I just, I love it. I mean, I watched a YouTube video on it too, where he talked about the filmmaking scene in France, and other actors talked about working with him, and it was just supposedly fantastic. And he's a director who lets actors improvise, and there's a funeral scene in the show, and he just shot the entire funeral scene in France. There were no cuts. He hired the real priest and the real choir who sings in this church, and then they played out a whole funeral, and he just filmed it. There's no cuts, no takes. It's just that. I mean, it's that kind of authentic filmmaking that I long to see, and he always delivers.
Yeah, he really does. I think that's why he does like one of the best, not romantic movies, but movies about love. Like, for example, Blue Valentine, is because it feels so fucking authentic. There's no like big speeches or anything. It feels like two people meeting and falling in love, because the dialogue doesn't feel like it was written in like a Hollywood studio, but it feels like the two characters just reacting to each other.
Yeah.
Which is, beautiful. I mean, that's why his movies, probably feel so real. He really knows what he's doing.
And I think it's especially difficult if you have like this element of twins that are not actually twins, if you have this technical difficulty with it too.
Must be hard,
to still come off as authentic. I can only imagine how difficult that is, but it just works completely. And as I said, Ruffalo as this angry kind of Dominic character and this vulnerable, paranoid, schizophrenic Thomas character who is heartbreaking. Their interactions between each other, it is incredible. The acting that Ruffalo does, especially as Thomas, it's so believable, and you just feel for the guy, and you just want to give him a hug.
It sounds amazing. I mean,
You'd love it.
I have to check it out at some point, just to I might even make one of our lists, best of the year end lists, and because it sounds fucking amazing.
I think this has a good shot of making my list. Yes, I don't know if it's actually a 2021 release here. I don't know when this was actually released over here.
Okay.
Maybe it's been out for a couple of months and I just missed it. But I'll count it as a 2021 thing. Yeah, check it out. This is it's the best recommendation I can give you since Normal People, in the way that like...
Wow.
Well, I'm not like talking about like big block. What was the best thing that we've talked about? What comes to mind? Pieces of a Woman?
Pieces of a Woman was very good, but I mean Soul, but I guess wasn't that out of the box.
What would you say? That's an interesting question. What would you say is the best thing you've seen that you've sort of recommended in the last year?
Well, the thing is, you know me. We have had a lot of talks where I didn't even remember what I watched last week. So
I'm trying to remember what your one was on the special.
On
the best
our
of the
last
year?
special.
No, the best of the year special.
Best of the year was, if you haven't watched it, go watch it now, because spoilers, it was 1917.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, but we haven't talked about that on the pod before. Because we
Fair enough.
started it later.
We couldn't. But other than that, I gotta look it up, dude. Just when I see like the cover of our best of the year special, I might remember. But I mean, Hamilton was fucking amazing, but it's
sure
a bit of a different thing. It's a tough fucking question. Okay. For me personally, it was probably what is it called? Just The World to Come. The World to Come. That's the title, which I think was just the most surprising and therefore one of the best things that I had seen and talked about on the podcast for me.
Okay.
I mean, what's like the thing that stood out for you? I mean,
well, Normal People for sure.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but like in between that, because when did you talk about Normal People? It was quite some time ago now, right?
I couldn't tell you the month. We could look it up, but I just feel like there's, as I said in the beginning of my pitch of this show, there's certain things that I feel like not a lot of people have seen, and I felt that way about Normal People. And I feel the same way about, I know this much is true. And it's sort of that, I think of like, when I think of my favorite recommendations, I think of Normal People, and this one now, it's maybe not the, I still think that, Hamilton and whatever, it's obviously they're great things too, and maybe even better, but as far as hidden gems go, or like underappreciated things, I would say those two.
Yeah,
so go check it out. Please do. It's a struggle to watch. I've had like, I crammed in the entire show in a week, and I was like, there were some points where I was like, I really don't want to be in this bad mood again. Like, this is a tough watch, especially the first couple episodes. Because, as I said, the amount of shit that's happening in this, to this one guy, really, I mean, to the people that he loves, and therefore to him, it's unreal.
Okay, well, dude, it's a very high recommendation from you. So yeah, it's gonna be tough to pass that up.
Yeah, check it out. It's good, and check out the trailer if we haven't included it here.
Would you say it's spoiler free?
I haven't watched it.
Okay,
I haven't watched it.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure if anything we include, we try and stay spoiler free. Yeah. We'll just include like certain bits of it. Yep.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, interesting episode.
Yes.
I thought we had a shot at taking
the
same thing again, which we haven't for a while now.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining us from wherever in the world, probably Austria. But yeah, it's awesome to have new people here.
Juliet Lewis is in this as well. I just have to...
From August County.
Yeah, yeah, because we talked about her recently. She's in this as well. And Bruce Greenwood, who I love. That's the final thing I'm going to do. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Just Bruce Greenwood, sure. We talked about him before.
Yeah.
I love him. And I didn't know he was in the show, and then he shows up in like episode 4, and I was like, oh yeah, Bruce Greenwood. He literally has 2 scenes. Why would you do that, Bruce? Why would you do that?
When would we talk about him last?
I don't think we talked about him on the pod, but I think we talked about him in I think it was a trivia question before.
Could be.
I think so. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting. Those are the 2 actors I wanted to mention.
To understand that Julia Lewis reference, go check out our special. And yeah, thank you so much for sticking around. It's an honor to have you here. And yeah, check us out on any other podcast platforms if you want. We're pretty much available anywhere where podcasts are available. Anything from Spotify to Google Podcast to Apple Podcast, etc. And of course, YouTube. And go check us out at Best Thing Radio on Instagram and Twitter. Leave a comment, leave a like if you want to reach out to us, maybe on Twitter or just YouTube comment, whatever. Yeah, thank you so much for sticking around. Check out our cover art that Flo is going to design for this episode as well, which you can see on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Yeah, and with that, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, I hope you got some good recommendations, but I think you did this week.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. There's so many things that I haven't mentioned because I feel like it's, I've said enough, but there's a great dad character in the show too. I'm going to stop.
That was about
I just feel like I've said enough, but there's so many things. Maybe once you watch it, we'll talk about it again.
All right. Might take a while, but
end of the year special.
Sure.
But one thing that I've never said in the last 60 episodes.
Okay.
Goodbye. Check it. We always talk about like, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and I've never said it like on the podcast. Like every new episode airs Mondays at 7 a.m. So you don't have to wait for like us to promote it on various social media sites anymore. I mean, every Monday 7 a.m. a new episode is out for our and your enjoyment, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully you'll be back obviously next week on Monday at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.